Hi everyone and welcome to this last day of Digital Open Days by POLI.design. I'm Martina Galli and I'm part of the staff of POLI.design, a society founded by Politecnico di Milano that today will present its first level specializing masters and executive courses. I would like to remind you that at the end of each presentation there will be a Q&A moment, so if you have any question, please write them in the chat room. The master we are going to present is the master in yacht design, and we are here with the master board, the director of the master, Professor Andrea Ratti, and the vice director of the master, Professor Arianna Bionda. So welcome, and I leave you the stage.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and welcome everybody to this open day. So I'm going to present you the Master in Yacht Design. We are here today together with Andrea Ratti, the director, and Patroklos Totas, the coordinator, to help us to answer all your questions then after. So starting for what concerns the training objectives of the Master in Yacht Design. The Master in Yacht Design has a quite long history. Next edition will be the 23rd edition of the Master that has the main objective of training technician and designer in the yachting sector that will deal with the yacht concept design and yacht design engineering that will have also professionals for what concerns system design, naval architecture, technicalities for the yachting, but also project management and after sale and marketing for what concerns this sector. For this reason, the outcome, let's say, candidates who attend the Master in Yacht Design will then find themselves working with the career and job opportunities in studios for mainly for what concern yacht design and yacht engineering, but also in production of sailing boat and motor yacht for what concern shipyard or let's call it satellite companies like supplier for what concern engineering part, but also supplier for what concern fitting and interior, and opportunity to work as project manager or after sales manager and marketing in shipyard and brand of the yachting industry. Some technical aspect about the master. So the master will start in the beginning of February 2024 and it lasts for 1 year. But exactly is divided in two big slots. The first slot from February till the end of July will be classroom activities. Classroom activities will be mainly a full time. Take into account that will be 3 or 4 days per week 8 hours per day in class activities. So we will not have any more online lectures starting from next year. And then after a summer break, there start the internship period. So the internship period will last for at least 3 months, but could be extended for 6 months. At the end of the full path, you will have a final exam with project presentation and then your degree. So following the Master in Yacht Design, allowing you the acquisition of 60 credits, that is 1 year of course, and the diploma that will be issued by the Politecnico di Milano. See a bit, let's say, the history of the Master in Yacht Design. We have to say that the first year we started in Italian, and we had a Master in Yacht Design in Italian till 9th, 10th edition. Then we saw, let's say, a great request for what concern foreign students to come to Italy to work in the sector. And that's why, starting in the last 10 years, I have to say, we switched to English and we welcome students that comes from everywhere in the world. We say every year we have 1/3 of the classroom that has Italian or Italian speaker, but then we have people that coming from mainly from Europe and then from Asia or the US, the South America, that is a big market, Turkey as well, and some let's say candidates that arrive from Africa and Australia. So it's a really large community. But our students don't only have different background for what concern the culture and heritage, but they have different background also for what concern the field of studies that were the previous background and bachelor or master degree. So we'll welcome candidates that are coming from design, so design engineering, transportation design, interior product design, but also candidates that has a bachelor or a master degree in architecture or in engineering, such as mechanical engineering, aerospace engineering, or as well economic business administration degree that they have. So to work in, let's say, such strange or particular environment where we have a lot of background that come in, we set up the didactic activities based on different models. There are 10 learning models that you see here that are divided in three macro blocks, let's say. So we have the blocks of theories and methods, the blocks of tools and techniques, and the blocks of professionalizing activities. So you see that we will start with the theories in class, with yacht design principle, history and trend and culture of yacht design and naval architecture. And then together we will teach you the tools and the techniques of yacht design that are both drawing and modeling, but also shipbuilding techniques and construction materials. And now we'll switch, let's say, roughly at the mid of the master with the professionalizing models that are mainly the two main workshops or sailing boats and motor yacht design, interior design, onboard equipment and propulsion system, and production processes and business plan. So if you see here, it seems quite straight, but in reality, we have modules and teaching that crossing and overlapping one with the other. So if you say this, give you an idea about the complexity of the lecture that are, let's say, pertains to the areas of yacht design, yacht engineering, yacht management, then workshop, and also in field experience in different models. So we work merging together competences and in a transversal way to help you to build up upon your personal background that you had before, design, architecture, and engineer, to build up layers that will be helpful for you to fulfill in the sector of yacht design. To do that, our faculty is really mixed, as Professor Ratti says before, for the course in executive interior yacht design. Also here in the master in yacht design, we are working with professionals in the sector. So let's say we have 25% of our faculty that has come from academic background. That is an example of me and an example of Professor Ratti, and especially academics are mainly working in the area of theories and method, but then moving till the professionalizing models that you saw before, we involve a lot of professionals in the sector. So yacht designer or yacht engineering or project manager in the shipbuilding industry to directly have a contact with the people that are working in the industry. We have not only classroom, of course, we have a lot of experience in the field. So we will organize in sailing experience and laboratories experience, but also visiting shipyard, workshop in shipyard, meeting with international yacht designer and tools that we have. So you will have a direct contact with the sector, really be immersed in the sector of yacht design. For what concern the project that we will be involved to, you see here there are two examples that coming from students of us. So what will be at the end of your training path? We will involve you in sailing boat and motor yacht workshops. So developing project for what concern sailing boat of about 20-24 meter long, about this size, and motor yacht that are roughly 45-50 meter long. It's organized to meet the learning objectives that we have. So to ask you to develop concept design, So working with the markets, the trend, the style, the general arrangement, that it means how stuff are fitted on the boat, but also working in the executive design of this boat. So the technical drawing and the specification, system layout, structural layout, sail plan appendages, and everything that makes the yacht real. You see here that is not only design, let's say not only architecture and not only engineer. That's why you are mixed in class, and in some way you will work into this project together in a group, mirroring what happened generally in the industry as well. Right after this part, that all this part will be the, let's say, first 6 months, the first semester of the Master of Design, where you will be in class with us or in extra class activities, but in the group. And then right after the summertime, we will, let's say, offer you and we will help you to find an internship position. So we will have an application process that will start roughly at the mid of the master, and mid direction board together with POLI.design office will help also you how to find a proper internship inside the sector. And then you will be involved in at least 480 hours of internship. You see here some graph. This is the representation of what in the last three years there was students that came mainly to have an internship in Italy, but also in the rest of the world. It means in Europe, but also in the US or extra Europe countries. And the, let's say, half and half, we have people that goes in studios or in shipyard, but also in some we call satellite activities, but it means supplier or marketing, project management studios. For what concern the placement, yeah, we have to say that this is a lucky moment for the nautical sector. You see also that we, let's say, create the spin-off of the course of interior design. It means that mostly all of our students will find a place and work in the nautical sector now. But if at the beginning of our path with the Master of Design it was mainly Italian, now you see that we reach that our students are going all around the world to work in this industry. And this last slide, one of the last slide, is about our result. That is, it's not exactly our result, but it's a result of our students, the students that work with us, Italian guys. So we are really proud of them winning the yacht designer of the year and the contests that are worldwide into the market. But also we have a lot of design studios and shipyard that was funded by our alumni. So it means that it's a huge community. This is obviously up to them, but we have to say that especially in the professionalizing models of the Master in Yacht Design, we organize some proper lecture activities that are based on helping you to participate into the contest, to create your startup, to build up your proper company. So we also work on the soft skills that is needed for you to find your, let's say, specific career into the sector. That is not only joining a company or studios, but also be able to, in couple 2-3 years, to fund your own activities. As before, some technical part about mastering your design. So to take part of the selection for the next year, you have to send to complete the application on the website of POLI.design, sending us your CV, your curriculum vitae, the motivational letter, portfolio, and copy of your university transcript and bachelor. Please do it as soon as possible, because the places are at Master Yacht Design are limited to 30, and we have already some guys that are enrolled for the next edition. You see it in the next selection interview days that are set in here. So there is one date in July next week and another one in September, the half of September. As for the course in interior design, you will be interviewed to understand better your motivation and why you would like to pursue this master to be 100% sure that what we can offer is also meeting your request and your desire for this future. And this is the partner where we are working with. And thank you very much to be present here today.
Thank you for the presentation. Now let's start with the questions. I ask to the people in the classroom if they have any questions. No one? Okay. So let's start reading a question from the chat room. The first one is seeing the wide spectrum in academic background of the applicants, which are the main selection criterias?
It's me? Okay. Yeah, we basis of selection with four main pillars. There is also written in our website, so you can see in admission exactly the criteria. But we evaluate your previous background in terms of academic background, but also if you had some job experience or internship or somewhere, and especially into the nautical sector or in, let's say, satellite activities that are close to our sector. Then we are looking into your soft skills. So it means not only the, let's say, be able to speak in English, the master is in English, and let's say a high quality in English is absolutely required. Otherwise, you lose a lot of your experience in there, and it's absolutely unuseful to follow a master. So the English is mandatory, really a good level. Even if we have not a proper test, we are not asking you a certification, but we will interact with you during the interview for that. And then we are looking for motivational aspects. So if you have previous experience in the sector, you have sailing experience, you have some experience in sport or leisure time with boats, and we are looking your expectation, so your career desire, so what you want to do in the future, and we are trying to understand if what you want to do, let's say, if our course is exactly aligned with what you want to do into the future. So that's why, and that's what you want to do in the future, of course, is aligned also with what is your background.
I can even add some information on these because I think it's important, and this question on the criteria on how to select people who could have a very different background is related to, let's say, a goal that we would like to follow. In the previous slide, Ariana Bionda show you the typical composition of the class, which is composed by different kind of professional skills. So that means generally divided in three parts made by architect, designer, and engineer. And this is not a casually result, but is a goal because of we take into account what's the request of the market in terms of professionals to be absorbed every year in the yard or in the studio, and that means that are required a different kind of professional skills in the field of the yachting, and even because these composition help us to work within the teaching activities and mainly in the design experience that we deal during the master, because we put into practice a typical professional way of working, which require a continuous interaction among different professionals. And this is the reason why we should put on the same level different skill, and within the criteria that we apply during the selection, take into account this need to have this kind of composition of the class.
Okay. The next one is it mandatory to have some experience in the nautical field?
Not mandatory, but helps a lot. Because, of course, let's say be able to design a yacht, it means that you have to be able to understand how a yacht sails and how people live on board. And of course, if you have a direct experience in that, will help you in also the designing activities. For this reason, we promote some sailing experience for those of you that doesn't have previous experience before. But if you can spend the time in between now and January to have some practices on the sea, that it's both motor yacht and sailing boat. It's not just sailing in terms of sailing boat, it's also sailing in terms of riding with a motor yacht. It could be really helpful for your future career.
The next one is it possible to have some examples of internship in the related field activities?
Yes. It's
Um,
very
yeah,
right.
it means that apart from studios, let's say, be involving like in concept design, exterior, interior design in studios, or be involving like technical office member, so working with mainly design engineering for what concern production, or project manager in production in shipyard. You could find places, many of the companies that work with equipment. One of the companies that pop up into my mind is Cariboni company, that it works with everything that is hydraulic system from the nautical sector, especially for work sailing, but also component for what concern interiors. So another brand that pop up into my mind are, for example, Cassina or Miele, that has proper specific line for what concern yachting. So these are some satellite, let's say, activities that are not, let's say, it's not the first thing that pop up into your mind when you're thinking yacht design, but they are a huge part of this sector.
Yes, and probably from this point of view, I go back again to the composition of the class because this is related even to the final involvement in the field because having in the class both engineer, designer, architect, it's clear that at the end we have the capability to cover different kind of need coming from the companies. That means that for sure engineer will be involved more in the technical part. That means production processes control, quality control, engineering, dimensioning, and so structural dimensioning, and so on. Architect and designer could follow other field of application. And so we could say that there's really a wide range of different professionals that come out from the same path of formation.
Thank you. So thank you for the presentation of the master, and thank you all for following this presentation, and stay with us for the next presentation. Thank you.